Hey everybody, it's Mary at Yard Art or Us. Hope you guys are having a good evening. This is an impromptu video, unscheduled, unplanned, but hey, I really missed you guys. So I'm going to be doing a base coating of a snowman. This is a snowman that I'm doing for a customer, and it's actually the Frosty the Snowman that Ashley did. And it is, I think this one's 46 inches tall. But I've already base coated him twice in our white. So I base coated him twice. So, hey Ash, I'm just doing a quick video on this. Showing people I'm going to paint this for that lady. So, I am doing just impromptu. I'm going to base coat this Frosty the Snowman. I've got some black and I'm going to do his eyes. Actually, I've already done a primer base coat, if you will, of the white. I did 2 coats of that this afternoon. It was a pretty good day as far as the sunshine. So, hey Karen, how are you? I know this is unscheduled, but hey, I have missed you guys. I feel like it's only been a little over a week since I've been on, but man, it seems like a month, like an eternity. So I'm going to be base coating this guy. Normally we do this with a black hat, but I have a customer who really wants this with a pink hat. She wants to put a name on the pink hat, which I'm going to do, and it's for her granddaughter. So in this case, I think what I might even do is go ahead and give a few little eyelashes, because who doesn't like eyelashes? And then I'll go ahead and do this black mouth right here. And all I'm doing is taking this script liner and using it to obviously put the mouth on, but also I will use the script liner as a brush to put in a base coat of something in a small area. Hey, how are you? Is it Martha Lynn or Marthlin? Not sure, I hope I'm not mispronouncing it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this, he's got 3 black buttons, and I'm using my script liner to put the base coat of the black buttons down. And the reason I'm doing that is these buttons are just kind of small. So a brush that's real big is not gonna work. So your script liner, we always think of that in terms of outlining, right? Or maybe giving some highlights, but you can also use your script liner brush to base coat those areas that are just kind of too small for any other kind of brush. So today we got, y'all, we have been super busy at the shop. How are y'all doing? Karen, I'm glad you could join us. Martha, I'm glad you're here. I'm just base coating Frosty the Snowman. Right now I'm putting black on him. And Ashley's done this once, I think maybe back in July. And I thought, well, this is kind of a good time to give a refresher and to show you something a little different on this guy. So I have a customer, she bought one a couple years ago with the black hat, kind of just the way Ashley did it. And she came back and wants me to do this one with a pink hat because she has a granddaughter. And I'm actually gonna come back on probably, I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, but it'll be one day soon, because I wanna show you guys, I'm gonna shade some of it tonight, and then I'll come back on another time. I'm gonna shade and outline it. And then I'm going to show y'all how we're going to glitter it on another day. And then I'm going to show you how to put a name up here. So it's going to be kind of impromptu, and there's going to be stages, because a lot of times on our lives we try to do it from beginning to end. But we had so much going on right now, it's kind of like, you know, I'm doing good to keep my head above water. Which, you know, on some days, who am I kidding? My head's not even above water, but I would never really admit that too much. So I'm going to... Right here we've got the green. I guess that's the mistletoe. So I'm going to put some green here. And I've got a round brush now. This one is, oh y'all, this one's so old. It says it's a number 14 round brush. So I'm just going to kind of load it up with some paint and come in here and do my mistletoe. And I'm just putting this green base coat color down. That's all I'm doing. I don't want to use too big a brush because my mistletoe here is kind of small. And then of course that's the red in the middle, that holly. I'll come back and get that here in a minute. Ashley does this with the black hat. Now, Ashley, when you do it with the black hat, what color do you make the band? I can't remember. I'm doing a pink hat, but I'd like to know what color you make the band. That'll kind of help me decide, because this customer wants this with a pink hat. I was actually supposed to have this done a long time ago, but it got, this was one of those that slipped through the cracks on me, so I'm kind of having to stop everything else and take care of her. So you usually do the band in red. Okay, okay, I got you. And then of course I know that the broom is yellow. So I'm going to just put some green paint on my leaves. Come in here like so. I'll get out my script liner here in just a minute and put some red right there. Now this customer, she wants a pink hat. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give her a two-tone pink hat. I'm going to do the hat, the top right up in here, in that fuchsia, dark, bright, or I don't know if dark is the right word, bright, bright, bright pink. And I'm going to do the hat band in a light pink. We'll do a two-tone pink on that. And another video, I'm going to show you guys how to put names on using a squirt bottle. I've done that before a little bit, but I'm going to show you it on another time. Probably a couple days I'll come back on when this is all finished, and I'm going to put a name up here on the hat because that's what the customer wanted. So we have our light pink, which is this color, and then we have, this is the shading pink, right? And so what I have here is like the in-between. Decisions. So what I'll probably do, so when I can't decide, because this is something, oh, gray, I didn't think about that. Ashley's saying gray, so let me go in here. So here's how I do. I don't normally make this guy with a pink pink hat. So I'm gonna sit here, Ashley's suggesting that. So then my choices, because I'm gonna put a name up here. I was thinking of putting a name in white, because on the black hat that I did, I put white name on the black hat. So in that case, I think I need to go with this darker color, because I know I'm gonna come back with a name in white. And I don't think we know white's not gonna show up on this, and we know white's not really gonna show up on this either, okay? So I think that's what I'll do. So here's what we're gonna do. Ashley, tell me what you think. I think we're good on that. And then of course this is gonna be yellow. Let me shake this up. And then I think the rest of him, there might be some reindeer brown down here on the handle, but that's about it. Okay, so we're gonna do the gray band. Let's do that right quick. That won't take long because that's not a big area. I'm gonna get my mop brush out. Pink hat, gray band, contrast would be perfect. Okay, I agree. There we go, made that executive decision, y'all. I didn't have this. Okay, so I did not stir this up like I should have. I thought I did. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit here and take some of this, I don't know what you call that. I call it like almost like a syrup there. And I'll just pick that up, throw that in the trash. And so I'm gonna take this and stir it a little bit, y'all. Stir, 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 stir. Stir the paint and load the brush at the same time. Nothing quite like it, right? Okay, so let me get this paint going. I've got my trusty old mop brush, the 5/8 inch mop brush. I'm gonna come up here. And of course, I'm not gonna finish him all tonight, but that's okay. I'm gonna come on several different times, just kind of showing you guys the process, what we're gonna do with this guy. So I'm gonna do my sides like I always do, right here, do this side. And that's really all I'm gonna do for that band. He's got to dry. So I'm gonna come over here, you can't see it, but I have some water. Hey Zelma, how are you? Hi Monica. I'm so glad you guys could join me. I am painting impromptu video here. Hi Holly. I hope you guys are doing good. Y'all, if y'all have any questions, let me know. This is an impromptu video because I actually forgot about this Frosty the Snowman. I was supposed to do it. Actually, I was supposed to tell Ashley to do it a long time ago, and my bad, I forgot. So I'm kind of slipping this in here. I'm gonna go ahead and do my yellow broom. And I'm just gonna sit here and go back and forth. What am I doing? I'm loading that brush. That's really what I'm doing. See, my brush is all loaded now, so that's a good thing. So I've got my brush loaded. And I'll do a couple of other videos on the different steps of this guy. I'll probably do one tomorrow where you guys can see kind of the different steps. Because in real life, I know in videos we try to do a lot of beginning to end type of things so y'all can see from beginning to end. But the reality is the most of the time that doesn't happen in our real painting world. So, good, I'm glad. You know, Monica, I just really, like I haven't been on with you guys in like over a week, and I know it sounds kind of like juvenile, but I'm all like, I miss being on lives, I miss painting, I miss getting to talk to people and show people what we do. Even though, and I painted all these years, but you know, just, I don't know, just never gets, I mean, you can say it gets old when you're tired, you know, if you worked all day and you just want to lay down in the bed because you just have no energy to get up and go. But hey, if you've got energy to get up and go, it really doesn't get old. So it's that thing about being a creator and loving to create. And I know so many of you are like that too. And so I don't really just think of myself as a painter so much as I think of myself as a creator. So I've got some shading paint, number 26. And because I know I'm going to come back later and write the girl's name at the top of this hat, I'm going to do this in a dark pink. And see, I think I'll like that whenever I come back with the white paint to paint the name. Now, you're going to see me have some troubles here. It's kind of good that I'm showing you this because I'm trying to take this shading pink and cover it or having a white underneath. And I'm trying to get this shading pink to cover that white. And it's not going to be easy. So it's kind of good that you guys get to see this. First thing I'm going to do is when I'm trying to cover like that, I try not to put a lot of pressure on my mop brush. Hey Candy, how are you? Hi Melissa. Is this one for sale? No, it's already sold. In fact, I was just saying a little earlier, I'm making it because I actually this kind of fell through the cracks. I don't normally do this stuff this late in the season because we are so behind on everything else. But my bad. I was supposed to have given this to Ashley to get her to do it, and you know, hey, stuff happens. So what I did is I just put a little bit of water in here and just kind of watch what I'm going to do. So what is my line of defense on trying to get this shading pink to cover that white in one coat? Well, you've got two lines of defense. Your first line is to put a lot of paint on there, right? Now your second line of defense is to take this mop brush and just, you can't tell by watching of course, but I am putting zero, and I do mean zero pressure on this brush. I'm just kind of letting that mop brush glide across the top of the paint. I am not trying to put any pressure on here at all. I'll show you why up here. If I put a lot of pressure on here, you're going to see lots of white underneath this fuchsia pink paint. This is something I always kind of call a fuchsia pink. So notice I have quite a bit of paint here, but I'm just trying to glide over the top of that to get that paint to go in the position that I want it to be. I had to put a little bit of water in here because my paint was so thick. You guys, that if y'all happen to buy paint from us, and I know a lot of you do, you may find that you can have better control if you put a little bit of water. And I don't mean a lot, but a little bit. You don't want to water it down too much. That's why I'll have these squirt bottles. I'll just put like a little squirt of water. Hey Debbie, how are you? This is kind of an impromptu video. I missed you guys, and I wanted y'all to see me trying to base coat this Frosty the Snowman. He's gonna have a pink hat, and I chose the dark pink because I'm gonna come back at the very end and put a name up here in white. Okay, because this is kind of like for a girl. So I was saying a little earlier, if I take my brush with this dark pink and I bear down on it like that, what happens is you're going to see all the white through there. So the trick to something like that is just well, you're going to paint your sides, of course, like we always do. But the trick to that is to try to put a lot of paint on there. Man, I hope I have enough paint. Okay? And when you put a lot of paint on there, you can get away with coming with that mop brush and not putting, I don't have any pressure on this brush. Hardly any pressure. I'm just making that brush kind of glide across the top of the paint and kind of even out the paint. That's all I'm doing. But I think this is going to look cute with this dark pink hat. And then when I'm totally done, I'm going to put a name on the hat in white glitter. And I'll show y'all how to do that. It'll be a different video, but I'll show y'all. So, yeah, we don't have the template on this one. I will tell you, we have done a lot of, for lack of a better term, gnashing of the teeth. Trying to figure out what's the best way to sell templates. There's several issues. Number one, we have so many. Number two, we have so few workers. And so we will be doing that, I hope, in full swing next year. And what I mean by that is we are considering several different scenarios, but we just did not have the bandwidth this year to sell templates the way I had hoped, meaning because of how many templates we have and the work it takes to get them in a format where you guys can use them. You're talking about, you know, at least 500 hours of work. I mean, that's not an exaggeration. So obviously we want to sell them because that's a way for us to bring in some income. But at the same time, we have to have the bandwidth, and we don't have it this year. However, we will be correcting that next year, if you will. In fact, this is a good time for me to even ask you guys, since y'all are asking about the template. One of the things that we're discussing doing next year is selling paper patterns. And so right now, obviously a digital template, you would download that template onto your computer, your phone, and go to your printer with it and print it out at whatever size. You may have to piece it together. You may have to, you know, print it out in such a way. Maybe you go to Kinko's, maybe you put it on an overhead projector, you know, whatever it is. Maybe you go to blockposter.com. But if we sold the paper pattern, we could literally mail you the piece of paper as big as the pattern. Like in this case, if he's 40 inches tall, we would have a big sheet of paper 40 inches tall with the entire pattern in color printed on that piece of paper. And then of course you would have it at home full size. Then you would take some graphite paper and you would take that piece of paper and you would draw the pattern on your board and then cut it out. Now, I don't know, I think that might be something you guys would like, but I need y'all's feedback on that. The reason I'm saying y'all might like it is you wouldn't have to have anything digital to make your art happen. And it is the way I did my patterns for years and years and years before we went digital with the CNC, which most of you guys are not gonna have because you don't need that. So if we go paper pattern, we would print it out like on, for lack of a better word, like butcher paper, right? Yes, does it? Hey Julie, how are you? Yes, it does. Because when you work at a school, you know that every school has nothing but brick for the interior walls. So exactly. So if we go paper patterns, and like this example, I would have a big, you know, 4 feet tall piece of paper with this all printed on it. And, you know, probably some directions out in the margins out there. We'd fold the piece of paper up and we could mail it to you. And so that would keep costs down, and you know, you could use that paper pattern over and over and over, which is what I did for years. That's how I built, you know, all of my base, my pattern up. This is a reindeer brown, but I really need you guys to let me know how y'all feel about that. If that's something you think you could use. It would require a little more work on our side, but it's I think the easiest way for a lot of different folks just to get the piece of paper at home in the mailbox, so to speak, open it up, bam, there's your paper. You get some graphite paper and you draw it out. You trace it, you don't draw it, you trace it out. So that's something we're looking at doing next year. Because we have so many of them, I think that might be a good thing. But yes, we will be doing lots of more lots of templates next year, and possibly even paper patterns. But we got to get y'all's input on that. So y'all let me know how you feel about that. Okay, I've got some reindeer brown. Again, I'm trying to cover that white, so I'm going to go very easily over the top. I got a bobo here, y'all. Okay, so because I'm covering that, I'm going to take this mop brush. I'm going to do my sides, and I'm just going to take this paint, and I'm just going to glide over the very top, just very, very easily, okay? I actually have too much paint on here, so if you get too much paint, I just kind of come up here, and I'm going to bear down there. I'm going to take some of that paint off. Now I'm going to kind of come back over here, because I really got too much paint on there. You can see I have some paint back in here. Now, because I did my white coat earlier today, I put on 2 coats of white. It was good weather, so I was able to get that done pretty quick. I'm going to show you what shading would look like on this guy, because I can go ahead and shade this white body. Obviously, all that other wet paint, I can't do anything with that right now. So let me find. Okay, y'all, here we go again with the blues. I never have, put that over there. Let's see. I have a lot of different blues. Oh, it actually said that's only if you're at the really old schools. Well, since I only taught at one school my whole life, I guess I was at the old school. Yeah, probably the newer schools were not like that. You're probably right. So this is a light blue that I have right here, and I'm not feeling it. So I'm going to try to find, I know somewhere around here I had some shading blue. But of course oh wait, maybe this is it. All right, maybe this is it, y'all. Maybe I'm gonna get lucky here. The shading blue has a little more kind of a darker, yeah. All right, this is the one I like. But I've got the light blue in there too. No biggie. I'm just gonna stir it up a little bit. Now that I'm stir. So I'm kind of got a halfway between a light blue and a shading blue, but it's all good. I can live with that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go with, I'm trying to decide, I want a kind of a wider, brush on here. I don't know that this is gonna work, but we're gonna give it a try. So this is a number 20 flat tip. So I'm gonna look at this. Hey Vicki, how are you doing? So good to see you. I am gonna shade the white part now. Now this brush is kind of old, but that's all right. I can feel how stiff this brush is, but I think I can make it work. So I'm just, you see I'm putting a pretty wide stroke on there. So when I want that wide stroke, all I really do is just come in here and really bear down pretty hard on that. And I probably would do something like that. Okay, so I start in the middle right here, and that's his little thumb. And all I'm doing is taking that edge of paint on my brush and following that CNC line. Really, that's all I'm doing. So here goes his arm. And then I'll kind of come over here. Now I probably would do something like this just to kind of give it some decoration there in the middle. Doesn't have to be anything other than just something light and airy. Okay, I'm gonna put this guy over here. I think you guys can see him. Hey Teresa, how are you? Hey Stefania, I saw your Facebook thing on your birthday, but I forgot to mention happy birthday, belated. So I'm putting this shading. What I did is I did shading blue and light blue, and I mixed them together because I really wasn't feeling the light blue. And I just come in here and I'm following the perimeter of my pattern. Now notice I have some, can y'all see that I have some brown over here in this blue? Let's do it this way. I've got a little bit of brown there that I picked up from here. No worries, I will cover that up tomorrow when I come in and I get my script liner. I can cover that up, no worries. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm just kind of making that brush lay down. You kind of have to put pressure, the more pressure you put on it, the wider your stroke is gonna be. So I'll come here like so. Oh, I forgot this part. Like that. And then I'd probably come over here and just kind of do a swipe there. I like to put the little paint swipes or swishes, if you will. To me, it just kind of makes him look a little cuter. So we're going to come up here. He's got a kind of little chubby belly, which he looks cute. And then I'll just kind of come all the way over here. And then we'll go up like this. Like that. Yes. Okay. And then I do something like that. Now, I really, this shading blue, if you will, is a little bit wet, but that's okay. I want to show you something. You can get away with this on a snowman, in my opinion. I don't think I'd try it on anything else, but on a snowman, I think you can get away with it. I'm going to show you some outlining using this dark navy blue, even though this is kind of wet, just so I can kind of show you what that's about. I probably won't do all of it, but that's all right. Okay, so where's my water? Water. Okay, I'm gonna put some water in here, probably about that much. And then of course y'all know I have all these stir sticks. Oh, number 3 beard blue. Oh, sorry, Ashley. Well, it does help having somebody watch what I'm doing and she can correct me. Well, the thing is I called it shading blue for so many years. And so that's kind of reflexively what just tends to come out of my mouth, because that's just what I called it all those years. Okay, so I'm going to go to my script liner. Like this, y'all, trusty old script liner. And I'm just going to kind of fill it up here. Get quite a bit on it. And I'm going to come over here, just the outside of that shading blue line, and do something like this. Now you can see that I've got blue paint that's kind of getting a variegated look, but I'm not worried about that. I can always fix that up a little bit tomorrow if I need to. And then I just take a very light stroke on that script liner and come in and fill a little bit of a brush stroke, if you will, on the other side of here. This is this side, right? Nothing patterned, nothing very heavy. It's a very light stroke. Now this outside stroke that I'm doing, that's a thicker stroke. That's what I would think of as giving the definition to the shape. In this case, the definition to the shape of the arm. And then I'd probably come in here, and then we're gonna go up here on his little thumb. And I can get away with this on the snowman, but I wouldn't do this on anything else. Meaning, I think if the two blues kind of intermingle on a snowman, I think it looks good. Not so much on other things. And the only reason these two blues are intermingling is just because I really didn't let that shading blue or beard blue dry. I'm kind of pushing it, y'all. Okay, but you can see when I start to put the navy blue on there, that's when to me he starts looking kind of wintry. Hey Terry, how are you? You know, Terry, this is kind of an impromptu. I wasn't planning on it, but you know, life happens, and this is one of those that I hate to say it, but this customer kind of fell through the cracks, and that was totally my fault. So I am taking care of business tonight, and I'm going to get this out and take care of the customer. So I am just taking some of that navy blue with my script liner, and again, I'm just going right here on the outside to create that definition. And just kind of coming in there on the inside of that, a little bit of that stroke, very light-handedly. The outside of this stroke is heavy, and then I'll come in on the inside and make a little stroke like that. And to me, I like those two colors together. So I hate it when I hate to let it, I don't know if y'all are like this, but I just cannot sleep at night if I feel like I've let a customer down. So that's why I'm out here doing this right now, because I don't, you know, like at the store, there's customers coming and going all the time and all that. And sometimes the guys that we work with, they'll say, well, this wasn't our fault. Or, you know, we did what we were supposed to. And the customer, and I get that, but still, I still want the customer when they leave our shop to go, yep. Once again, they took care of me. That's what I want. And you know, I think that's part of the reason why so many people come year in and year out. I just don't want them to leave if we screwed up without me trying to fix it. So this is me fixing my screw up. But that's okay. Fortunately, it's just paint, so I know how to fix that, fortunately, because there's some things I might not can fix so well. But this, I definitely can fix this. So I'm just coming in here, following the CNC line or following that outside pattern, if you will. Okay. Terry, I know you can relate to this. We were talking a little earlier about digital patterns and paper patterns and how many years I've had, all the stuff that I've had, and how I'm supposed to be getting all these templates online so we can sell the templates. But you know what? It's harder than you think in terms of how much bandwidth that takes. It takes some work. First of all, you have to go through all the patterns. Second of all, you have to make decisions about which ones you like or you think are still good, and there's some of them you're like, nah. Then you got to digitize them, and I think we sell them in 4 different formats: a PDF, a JPEG, something else. Y'all, what else is it? PDF, JPEG, SVG, and there's DXF. Hey, Joe and Patricia Martinez, how are y'all doing? I'm so glad you could join me. I am just making this little snowman here. Well, he's not so little. I am kind of putting some finishing touches on him. I can't do any of the rest of this stuff tonight because he's wet, but that's okay. I'm going to do that on a different video, and I'm going to glitter the name and show y'all how to do that too. But that'll be on a different video. Probably be tomorrow. All right, so I'm coming in here with my script liner, and I'm just kind of going back and forth a little bit, and then I'll just bring that brush and just come in here like this. Give it some personality, y'all. I probably will do this, give him a little bit of eyebrows up here. Okay, so I think I've been on maybe 30 minutes, and I'll show y'all what we got done in 30 minutes. So you see this guy, that's that blue, beard blue, and that navy all together. Okay, I'll come on probably tomorrow, and I'm going to show you some shading on the hat when it gets dry. And then I'm going to do a day of glittering on it, and I'm going to glitter a name on that top hat and show you how to do that. So thank you guys for joining me. Y'all let me know in the comments if you heard my comments about would you be interested in paper patterns. We're looking at maybe doing that next year. Selling the digital template for if you just wanted to do a digital download. Selling the paper pattern. You know, get on the website, order it, we would mail it to you. And then that paper pattern would be everything. Basically this scale to size, and it would be colored. So you could look at the colors, you know, of the stroke of the outline. You could look at the colors of the base color of the pattern, you know, the shading color, and all of that would be on there. So y'all let me know in the comments if that's something you think you guys would be interested in. Hey Katie, how are you? But I'll probably come on tomorrow and work on this hat some. It won't take long, maybe 10 or 15 minutes tomorrow. Sandy says, yes, paper patterns. The thing I like about, hey Ursula, how are you? The thing I like about paper patterns, that's what I did for probably 20 years. And you can fold them up very neatly. They don't take up a lot of space. And you can use that pattern over and over. Because we have some ladies who are doing like paint parties, and then some ladies who are selling their stuff. And that way, you know, you don't buy everything in 1 year. You just, you know, buy some 1 year, and then the next year you just kind of add to it. Because that's how I got, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of patterns, more than I could ever do anything with. And probably some of them, honestly, are not that good. Maybe at the time I thought they were, but, you know, looking back, I don't think they were that good. So some of them won't make the cut, but that's okay. And that way we could mail the paper pattern out to you, and we'll have directions on there, and you just need some graphite paper and a jigsaw if you want to cut your stuff out. And that's what I did for many years. So I'm so glad you could join me. Y'all try to catch me tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. It'll only be like a 15-minute video. And then probably Monday I'll do the name on the hat. But I want to do some shading on this other stuff. So thank y'all for joining me. I know it was impromptu, so thank you for jumping on. And Miss Victoria will be on On Sunday, the 25th at 7 o'clock, she's doing a scarecrow face. And it's got a face of a scarecrow with some kind of teardrop looking eyes. And then on the underneath the face, it's got a pumpkin. It's really cute. And she'll be doing that on Sunday at 7. Next week is the last week of October. So I will be putting out a, hey Darlene, how are you? I will be putting out a calendar for November. I think we have 5 or 6 patterns coming out in November. I know one of them is a silhouette white glitter angel. Lord have mercy, I was looking at it earlier. I think one of them is gonna be a Santa gnome. One of them is gonna be a, I think there's 2 flamingo, Christmas flamingos. Santa gnome, 2 Christmas flamingos, a angel pattern, just a silhouette. It's like a solid glitter. Hey, hey Shelly, how are you? Hey Darlene, I can't remember, but it's 4 or 5, and we'll be putting those out in November, you know, with live tutorials and all of that. We have done a lot of work on our YouTube channel, so if y'all could go over to YouTube and hit subscribe. The thing about YouTube is they've got those thumbnails, so it's very easy just to scroll for the one that you're looking for. Where on Facebook, it's a little harder because you got to scroll through the feed, and you know, sometimes you're going to find it and then you just give up. But pretty much not all of them, but a lot of those videos are on YouTube. I think YouTube probably has 50 or 60 videos now. So, hey Deborah, glad you could catch me. Hope you can watch it on replay. But Deborah, I did a lot of talking about paper patterns, and if you could let me know what your thoughts about that in the comments, looking at maybe selling paper patterns next year. And I will see you guys tomorrow, and Miss Victoria will be on Sunday. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody. How are y'all doing? I am going to give everybody a few minutes to jump on here. In the meantime, I'm going to do some, I told you guys the other day, yesterday I was on here, and I showed you Frosty the Snowman. So I'm going to do a little bit of shading on the hat, the band, and up here and here, and down here. So I did this yesterday. I did a lot of base coating, and I did some shading on the body. So what I'm going to do on this guy, I think what I would like to do is shading yellow. So I've got some shading yellow here, and I have a chip brush. I'm not going to put a whole lot of paint on here. Well, I can't get any paint to squirt out, y'all. Okay, hold on a second. So sometimes my paint bottles, they get really, what is the word? Clogged up. And in this case, that's what's happened. You can see. So what I do is I take my trusty little nail and I just kind of go like this. And I pull that out. You can pull it up this way. Then I go in here and look, and that way I've got pretty good opening there. Let me go ahead and get that out too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some dry brushing on this guy. And this is our shading yellow. All right. Put my nail. I keep everything in my trusty little jar here. And I've got my chip brush. Okay, so it's just kind of a cheap brush with a jagged edge. I'm going to put a little bit of paint on here. And then I just kind of take longer strokes like that. And you can press down or be as light-handed as you like. I think the trick is to don't put a lot of paint on there at one time. Just kind of take your plate and I just kind of take it here and wipe it off a little bit like that. And you can put it on here as much as you want or as little. It really depends on the look you're going for. So I'm just kind of taking this chip brush and I'm going to put a little bit more on here until he kind of looks like a broom. Until we got our broom look, okay? So all I'm doing is just taking this chip brush with this plate. Hey Debbie, how are you? I'm just hopping on today. I'm gonna do a little bit more to this guy because I wanna show y'all how I'm gonna do a glitter name, but I probably won't get to do that till tomorrow. So I just had my chip brush with my shading yellow and just doing long strokes on that. And that pretty much is all I'm gonna do with the chip brush, and it gives you that kind of look. that dry brush look. So but I am going to go ahead and take a script liner, and just for grins, put a little bit more paint on that script liner, and I'm going to put some streaks in here with the script liner. Nothing too straight or nothing too fancy, just kind of giving it a little bit more of a look to it. Not a lot. There's really no right or wrong. I don't think you can really mess it up, because the whole point of it is to look like a broom. So it's not going to look really symmetrical or anything like that. Now I have that down here. I have my the handle, and I painted that yesterday in reindeer brown. So I'm going to use a little bit of shading brown on this with a flat tip brush. Let's see if I can find one. I'm not going to use a big brush. This is a number 12. So I'm going to use this flat tip brush, and I have some shading brown here in a jar. Debbie, are you having a good day? I'm doing pretty good. I just felt the, I'm in Pearland. Some of you guys, I'm not sure where y'all are watching from, but we just got a little bit of a norther coming through, and everything outside was getting kind of windy, and the sun's still shining. I thought we might get some rain, and the temperatures haven't dropped yet. I'm kind of waiting on that part. So I have that flat tip brush, and I'm just kind of putting a little bit of paint on there and just kind of doing something like that. You got the idea. Not much paint at all. And that's the thing about your paints, you know, if you'll, hey Stephanie, how are you? Debbie, you're doing good? That's good. Yeah, today's Friday, so it's like, yay. But if you'll keep your lids tight on these jars, a little bit of paint will take you a long way. Now, I need to do something here on the band. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wash out my brush, this flat tip brush, and I'm going to do this is that, I think it's gray number 24 that I put on yesterday right there. So I'm gonna put a little bit of gray paint in here. Not a lot, because I don't need a lot, like that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create some shading gray, because we don't actually have a shading gray in our color palette, because we wouldn't use it that much. So I'm just gonna kind of get a feeling for what I'm doing. Along with some water, okay? So we gotta do some water here. And I'm making my own shading gray. So I'm just stirring. I don't want a whole lot, because I don't have a whole lot of area to cover. And that's one thing you can do in a lot. Not every color works this way, but if you have a color at the house and you want to shade it and you don't have a shading color, sometimes you can look at, well, is this going to work if I put a little black in there? And, oh, 10 degrees in the last 10 minutes? Hey, I'll take that. We were outside working this morning, and it wasn't hot, but it was still kind of like muggy and yucky and all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm not making this really dark. I just kind of made it a little bit darker than my base coat color of gray. So I'm going to do something like that. Give it a little bit of a couple of swipes, not a lot. So I've got that soft gray hat going, and I'm going to come back later and put some white highlights in there with my script liner brush. So this same flat tip brush, I'm going to go in here, and I've got this dark green, and I'm just going to kind of come in here like this. All I'm doing right now is I'm going to do just the outside perimeter of the holly. I'm not going to do the inside yet. I'm going to show you. I tend to do that a little differently, and I'll show you that in a second. So I'm just going around the perimeter there with my little shading brush, my flat tip brush, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to just go in here. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry here in a little while. I'm going to hop on about 7 o'clock tonight for about 15-20 minutes. It's not going to take long. And I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next on this guy. Okay, so I have to put a little water in here. I'm going to stir here. And I'm going back to my script liner brush, okay? Stephanie, I hope you're doing good. I'm glad you could join. And I'm just doing a little bit on this guy. I'm going to hop back on about 7 o'clock tonight and show you how to glitter him. And then tomorrow, I'm going to show y'all how I glitter in white. Using a bottle, I'm going to glitter names tomorrow on this hat. And I'm going to show y'all that tomorrow. We won't get to that part tonight. But anyway, so I'm going back to my script liner with my dark gray. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here with, I said dark gray, I meant dark green. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm coming out here on that perimeter and I'm just filling in all that color on the green. Just covering, and then here's what I like to do. I'm going to kind of come down the middle and I'm just going to make some brush strokes, kind of giving it the leaf type of look. Okay, so I'm going to come out here. I'm not outlining these guys, these mistletoe in black, because I really like on this green, I really like green and pink together. I think if I came out here and did black, it wouldn't look as good. So again, I'm just taking my brush and very lightly doing some strokes with that script liner. I'm just kind of making some small strokes in there, okay? Hope you guys can see that. Hey, Lynn, that's Jenny Lynn, how are you? Oh yeah, you know, I'm in Pearland. We're just south of Houston, and I was just saying it just blew in here. I was watching the news. It just happened to be in there watching the news. They said it was 40-mile-an-hour wind that came through Conroe. I don't know if it was still that strong by the time it got here. My daughter lives in Conroe, and she said all of her yard art fell down, and there was crazy wind everywhere. So, yeah. Okay, I'm just doing a little bit here on that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash this out, and I'm going to find my shading red because I'm done with the green as far as the green goes, and I'm going to find my shading red, and I'm going to use this same brush, this script liner, and I'm going to outline this part. The holly, I guess, is what you call this part, like the berry part of it. It's going to kind of come here. And then I'll just kind of give it a brush stroke there. So I like that. Now, the question at this point is, what are we going to do with this pink hat? So here's the deal. I did the darkest pink right here on my background, or my base coat color, right? And because I did that because I know I'm going to come here and I'm going to write 2019, and I can't remember the girl's name, but I'm going to put a name there. So because I did that, it's not like I can go darker than this pink that I already have. So what I thought I would do, because I was thinking about this, how am I going to make this look really good? So we have in our color palette these two colors, which is light pink and shading pink, right? So what I'm going to do, actually I've already done it. Just mixed the two. That's all I did, okay? So I've mixed the two, if I get it to come out here. So I have kind of a medium pink. We don't have a medium pink in our color palette, but, hey Melissa, how are you? Since we don't have a medium pink, I just would mix the light and the dark. So I have that medium pink, just something I hand mixed right here. Hey Sandy, how are you? So glad you could join me. Oh, they lost power. Oh, I didn't know they lost power. I didn't realize they lost power. I hope they got it back. I hope everything went okay with the CNC then. Because you never know with that. So I have light pink and dark and the shading pink mixed together right here with some water. I'm going to get a flat tip brush that's about a 3/4 inch brush right here. So what I'm going to do, it's kind of, typically we would do on the hat or anything, we would typically do the lighter color and then you would shade in your darker colors. This is an exact reverse. We base coated in the darker color and we're shading in the lighter color. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. I'm good, I'm good. We've been really busy at the shop, so that's a good thing, right? Sometimes, you know, it's kind of like you think, well, sure wish it could slow down a little bit, but then, you know, hey, you're just grateful that you are busy. It's kind of like a feast or famine thing. You just never know what to expect. So I am just kind of doing a reverse here is all I'm doing. when I mean reverse, I just mean I'm shading in a lighter color and having the darker color be my base coat color. Okay. I don't want to overdo it too much because you can see if I'm not careful, this dark pink hat will suddenly become very, very light pink because of what I'm doing. Hi, Stephanie. Would you consider putting on a painting with a twist like class? Would love to join. Well, you know, it's funny that you asked that, Stephanie. We have had some powwows going on around here about painting, paint parties in general. And so that's something we're going to be talking about. I don't know how all of that's going to work out. I wish we had a better facility, honestly, where we could host things, but we really don't. Okay, I'm going to keep this straight. I'm keeping my brush strokes here very, very light. Okay, now I'm not quite through yet. Just for grins, just to kind of show you what you can do. Put a little more water in here with different colors, just using black or white. So you know I had that medium pink, and I just took some white, and I'm going to lighten it up quite a bit. We're almost going back to the light pink color palette that we have in our color palette. I'm putting a little more white in here just to kind of show you guys what you got to do. If we had a better facility, Stephanie, we would be better equipped to do that sort of thing. We've talked about that because that's right down our alley. But that's just something we're not set up for at the shop. We don't have enough elbow room right now to really get that done. But we have been talking about how to pull that off. All right, so I'm coming in here. I'm just doing a little bit of light. And it's just enough to be subtle. I'm not doing a lot, okay? But I think for this girl, this lady, a customer, she has a granddaughter that she's trying to celebrate, you know, kind of her granddaughter kind of thing, new grandbaby. So I think this kind of makes it a little bit girly, which is really, I think, what she wants. So I'm just kind of coming in here, and you can see it's kind of a different look than had I started the base coat with a light pink, and you know, but I really like it, and I think it's pretty. It's different. It's kind of a different look. And then I would just take this and kind of come in here and do some light strokes. All right, I'm just barely doing some of those strokes here in that. And then of course here on the edge, I'm going to put quite a bit of paint there. So then you start to see our hat is looking pretty different than what you saw last night, which was just a base coat of a hat. Let me do this. I'm going to come out here, and all I did was take that paint. I, you know, mixed it to a medium pink. I used what I wanted on the used of it. Then I just put some white in there. So don't be afraid to experiment on any color. Right now I'm doing pink, but you could do this on any color by adding just black or white. It's not going to work on every color, and it really depends on the look you're trying to go for, I think. So I'm doing that. So I've got my hat. I haven't finished the gray band, but I've got my hat looking pretty good. And I really didn't do a whole lot to him. Now on the gray, because I'm not going to be a fan of putting a black outline on there, because I think we've got some pretty colors going here, and I think a dark black would be a little bit too much. So I'm going to come in here with my script liner, still using this medium one shading that all I did is create this gray based out of, I started with the number 24 gray on this base coat. And then I added black to this to give me a shading gray. We don't have a shading gray in our color palette because you don't really need that. You can always just add some black. And I'm going to kind of come in here and just go very close to where I just script linered that light pink. And I'm coming in here. I'm going this way. I'm going to come down here. Now, I really like that, but I'm not quite finished. Not quite finished. So here's what I'm gonna do. Tell you what, I'm almost finished except for the white. I'm gonna finish this guy, and that way I can do white on all of this. So I'm finished with this except for white highlights. So we're gonna leave the hat alone for a minute. And Hey Carla, how are you? I just used a dry stenciling or just a chip brush and did this, and then I took a brush, script liner brush, and did some brush strokes here. So, and I used the shading yellow. So I started with the light yellow, and all of this is in the shading yellow. Now, I've got shading orange right here. Hey Debbie, how are you? I'm glad you could join me. I'm just kind of, I was saying a little earlier, I'm gonna let this dry. In a couple hours, I'm gonna get back on and glitter this guy and show y'all how I glitter it. And then tomorrow, I'm gonna show you how to do names in here using a, I'm gonna glitter the name tomorrow on the hat with the paint and some glitter. But I'll show y'all that part tomorrow. I won't get to that till tomorrow. I'm gonna use a flat tip brush. You find one that's over here. I'm over here right now, y'all, on the water bucket cleaning this brush. That's what I'm doing. All right, I just cleaned my flat tip brush. Oh, no, North Carolina. Good, I did not know that. We were just saying we're just outside of Houston and we just had a little norther blow in. I'm hoping the weather gets a little cooler because it really, quite frankly, it's been kind of warm. So I've got my flat tip brush. This is a number 20. And I've got this shading orange. And all I'm gonna do is kind of come around here. And notice that the shading orange and the shading yellow are not real different, are they? In color. They're pretty doggone close, really. And I'm just doing a small shade around my broom. That's all I'm doing. And I'm just following the outside of the broom. That's all I'm doing, just following that outside edge of the broom. Kind of coming in here. I'm gonna do that, and then I might do this. And then I'm done with my broom. I'm gonna put a little bit of white on them. Okay, so I've got that part done. Now, I'm gonna put some white paint in here. I don't have enough white. I'm gonna put a little bit more, and then I'm gonna put some white. Those of you that are watching it probably, especially like if you've watched me for any length of time, one thing that might come home to you is how much time I spend putting water in here. It's supposed to be in the 50s at night. Hey, that'll be good. I'm gonna take that. Yeah, it's been just warm. I know they keep saying some of the folks up north are having a heck of a time. It's going to be a cold, cold winter. I haven't seen any evidence of that where I'm out. But I put some water in here. And if y'all watch me any certain amount of time, you know that I put water in almost everything. Just to make that paint, you don't want to water down the paint too much, but you want to put enough water in there that your paint is a liquid that will move the way you want it to move. Hey Jennifer, how are you? So good to see you. I am just working on this snow guy. Frosty the Snowman is what I call him. And I'm just getting on, just showing you guys what I'm doing. I actually started a little video last night and did him base coating some of him. And I'm really done with my broom. And all I did was take that chip brush and use the shading orange. I'm sorry, shading yellow with the chip brush. And then I did some shading orange around the side. So the shading yellow and the shading orange are very, very close to each other. Now I've got my white with my script liner, and I'm just gonna kind of come in here. I'm not gonna put a whole lot. And I'm gonna put white in here. And then I'll probably do just a little bit of white in here, not a lot. And again, I'm not trying to make it perfect. It is handmade, so I'm trying to, you know, it's not going to be perfect, but that's all right. Not supposed to be. I've got a little bit of paint on my script liner, y'all. Not a lot. So if you notice in my mistletoe, I've got green strokes in here, and I'm going to try to just kind of come in here in between some of those green strokes. Not every other stroke, but maybe something like that, and just put a little white in there. Just to kind of give it a little bit of a highlight. Just a little bit of white. Not a lot, because my strokes in here are pretty fine. Gonna do that. Something like that. And then I'm pretty much done with the hat until I put the girl's name on here tomorrow. And I'll do that tomorrow. I'm going to show you how to put a name on just using a squirt bottle with some glitter. And it's real pretty. It's real easy. I think you'll like it. So I got that guy. I got the hat done. Hey, Terry, how are you? It does? I haven't ever tried that. I might have to look at Apple Barrel Gloss Black. Okay. We've been using the black that we've had for years, and I think they're changing the formula, which is what paint companies do. Don't even get me started on that. That really irritates me. I find something I never want it to change, but that's not the way it is, y'all. They do what they want, so. Okay, so last night I did this guy with you guys, and all of this part's already dry, and I really don't have much to finish on here, but I do want to show you just a little bit what I would do. I just have that white with my script liner, and you don't necessarily have to do this, but I just like to put in here some dots. Just take that brush and just kind of lay it there for just a second or two, give you some dots that way. And then I've got my buttons, and I'm just going to do something like this on each button. Not much to it. And then last but not least, the very last thing we got to do on this guy is we have to do something with this little broomstick. So I'm going to put a little bit of white here. And y'all know I'm not feeling not having an outline on there. So I'm going to go back to my shading red. A lot of times on anything like that, y'all know I do reindeer brown, shading and shading red. I'm using the shading red, which is just basically a dark red. So, and for those of you, hey Ash, how are you? She said, yeah, I seen that today when I was painting Santa and had to ask Ashley if it was by. I don't know what they've done, but it's not good. And we're kind of arguing about that. Not that they're really going to listen to me, but hey, I've got to say what I got to say about it. But anyway, so on the shading red, if you don't have this at the house, but you have red and black, that's all it is. We hand mix this. Take some red, take some black, mix it together until, you got the color you want. So it's not you don't need to always make it real difficult. If you don't have shading red from us, just if you have red and a black, there you go. You got what you need. I'm going to kind of come in here and just make sure this guy looks good right there. So I'm happy with that. Okay, and then I'm going to do this part. And all I'm doing is just outlining him using the script liner. That's all I'm doing. And kind of coming up here. And then I'm done with this guy. What I'm going to do tonight about 7, I'm going to get back on here. And I'm going to show you how to glitter this whole piece. At 7 o'clock tonight, we're going to glitter the whole piece. I'll only be on for like 5 or 10 minutes tonight because it's only going to take me 5 or 10 minutes to glitter this whole piece. And then tomorrow, I will show you how to put a name on the hat with that. I'll show you how to put a name on the hat using the paint bottle. So here we are, y'all. I think I've been on for a few minutes, not long. But I just finished my hat with this guy. I finished my mistletoe and the holly, the gray band. And then I did this. So I'm gonna let this dry. Probably about 7 o'clock, I'm gonna come back on. I'm gonna show you how to glitter this whole thing. And then we'll let that dry. And then tomorrow, I'll come back on for just a few minutes. And we're gonna write 2020 because she wants the year and then the daughter's name, granddaughter's who it is, right here. So that'll be tomorrow. But it is super cute. And it's nothing but, I just kind of girlied it up a little bit. That's it. Hey, y'all, thanks for watching. Catch me about 7. I'm going to show you how to glitter this whole thing about 7 o'clock. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody. It's Mary at Yard Art R Us. I'm going to show y'all how to glitter this cute little, it's kind of not so little, snowman. So here's my snowman. Got a little pink hat. And I told you I was going to come back on and glitter this guy. So I have I got my roller, right? So I have my roller right here. Got my polyurethane. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Carla. How are y'all? I'm going to show y'all how to glitter this guy. It won't take very long. I'm going to try to do it at an angle. You might not see much of me, but that's okay. So when I glitter something, this is a painted piece. It's totally dry. That's important. Hey, Casey, how are you? Hi, Vanessa. So I'm going to show y'all how to glitter this guy. He's totally dry. I worked on him some yesterday, worked on him again today. And I've got my polyurethane in here. And I'm just gonna kind of put enough in here, kind of go up and down. I usually kind of go up and down the middle. And I'm just gonna roller up and down, right? I kind of roll her up and like in an up and down fashion. And then what I normally will do is kind of go back and forth, up and down and back and forth to get me a good coat of polyurethane. So I'm gonna go and get polyurethane all over the place. And that polyurethane will go on a little bit cloudy or maybe like a little bit milky looking, if you will, but that's normal. Ooh, let's see, got a problem. All right, so I'm rollering that. I've got my polyurethane all rollered everywhere. Y'all can't tell, but I have a ceiling fan above me, right? Hey, Melissa, how are you? Hey, Debbie. Hey, Kathy. So I've got my mixture. Y'all know that we mix the clear and the silver. We sell some of this way. You can use any craft glitter. You don't necessarily have to get it from us, just any craft glitter. And I've got this. So I think about glittering kind of like seasoning your food. You're going to just kind of stand up here and sprinkle it. And the trick is to get an even coat. I just am shaking my wrist back and forth, right? Just kind of going back and forth until I get enough glitter on there. Now, I can see that I've missed a little spot right here. It's a little dry spot. So I'm just going to take my little roller and just kind of get a little bit of polyurethane on there. And then I'm going to put a little bit more glitter there. So make sure when you glitter that your piece is totally dry, your paint is totally dry. You're glittering on a flat surface. You're also glittering in a well circulated area, like I would normally do it outside, but it's dark outside. So I'm in my art room and I have a fan going, right? Hey Wendy, how are you? So I've got all of my glitter on there and I'm gonna sit here and talk to you guys for a few minutes and let this dry a little bit. And then I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna put the top coat on. Really, I would normally let this dry outside, like if it's a sunny day, let it dry for about an hour. It's really not gonna dry during the time I'm gonna talk to you, but we're gonna pretend it's dry so I can show you how to put that top coat of polyurethane. So I put the polyurethane on there. I sprinkled the glitter back and forth, right? You let that dry. Once that's dry, you're gonna put another coat of polyurethane on top. So then what that means is you've got polyurethane, then you've got your glitter, then you've got your polyurethane on top. And that makes your glitter stay exactly where you want it to stay. Don't glitter in the cold or in the damp rain, even if it looks like it's gonna rain or it might rain, because it's not gonna dry. So what I'm doing tonight, I'll let this dry overnight and I'll be good. I got a ceiling fan going. The trick is just to make sure you've got some air going on this so it will dry. Outside in the sun is the best, but that's not always possible. So while I'm talking to you, I'm just letting this stuff dry, okay? We're gonna go ahead and pretend that it's dry. It's not, but we're gonna pretend. And I'm gonna show you what you do for your top coat. So what I do for my top coat is I just come back and I just squirt some more of this right on here, just like I did for the first time, right? And I go, and I usually take long strokes. I'm just going back and forth, right? And why do you put a top coat on? You put a top coat because you want to make sure that glitter stays exactly where you want it to stay. That's important. Okay, exactly. So I go up and down, back and forth, right? That way I'll know I don't miss anything on here, and I'm forcing that polyurethane to kind of lay there on top of that glitter and sink down in there a little bit. And then I'll let this dry overnight. Hey, we can't forget the little broom up here, okay? So I've got my little broom. I'm gonna let this dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'm gonna get back on here and I'm gonna show you how to put a name right here with white paint and glitter, okay? So now we've got it all glittered. We're gonna let it dry overnight. Once it's dry, hey Caitlin, how are you? Hey Teresa, how are you? Wendy, so good y'all could join me. I'm showing everybody how to glitter a Frosty the Snowman. Let me show you. He's kind of looking, I don't know, he's kind of looking frosty, if you will, kind of milky, but that's what polyurethane does until it dries. And then once it's dry, it'll be real clear looking. Clear and sparkly and shiny, which is the look I'm going for, right? So right now, when you look at this pink hat, it looks kind of milky or cloudy. That's normal. It's supposed to look like that. In the morning, when I come in here and I wake up, you know, come in here in the morning, it'll be totally clear. I'll show y'all tomorrow, because tomorrow I've got to glitter the name on here. So I got to let this dry all night, let it cure. So when you're letting it dry, make sure you got air going, like a ceiling fan, or you're outside with the sunshine or the heat. That's the best. Don't try to glitter in the wind or the rain, because that's not gonna be a good thing. So, hey Pamela, I'm glad y'all tuned in, and I'm gonna jump back on probably tomorrow morning and show y'all how to glitter the name. And then this guy's done. So glad y'all could join me. I'll see you in the morning. We'll put a name on the top and then we'll be done. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. Hey everybody. I am going to be putting a name on the Hat of Frosty right here. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do that using this paint bottle. Okay, so actually this customer wanted the year and the name on the hat. So I've got my little bottle of paint. It's just our house paint that I have in here. I'm going to take the cap off. And the first thing I want to do is I want to make sure, hi everybody, I want to make sure that I've got some paint that's going to flow in here. Okay, so I've got a good flow to that. That's kind of what I'm doing there. I'm just making sure. Now this customer wanted the year and they wanted the name Layla. So when I look at this guy, I'm looking at this, kind of put it over here where y'all can see it a little better. I'm trying to make sure I do this to where when I stake this guy and he's standing out there on the ground, the name is not so crazy like. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put Layla right here because that's the name that they want, and then they also want the year. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to get all the paint down there at the bottom or to the tip of the thing, and I'm gonna just kind of go like this. Now, because I don't have a lot of room, I obviously have to kind of keep it a little bit small. L-A. Now, sometimes it does that, and when it does that, I just kind of make that paint go. I'm having trouble here, y'all. Y. L. A. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in here and fill in just a bit right there. And I'm going to grab a script liner because I've got a miss right here. Got my script liner brush. And I'm going to kind of bring this, y'all, that's too big. Hold on a second. I'm going to get a smaller brush because I've got a gap right here. So just, I'm going to pull that paint down right here. Sometimes that happens where you get a little bit of a gap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very lightly take this and make this name a little bit wider, not a lot. I'm doing this very, and when I say lightly, I do mean very lightly. I'm going over this. And then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make this L a little bit bigger. Okay, so I've got Layla there. And they also want 2019. Hey Trish, how are you? So I'm going to kind of come up here and I'm going to put 2019 up here. I'm going to come here. Here's my 2. And in 2019, I'm going to try to make all my letters about the same height. O. And I'm going to just do a straight line for 1. And then I'm going to do 9. And then I'm going to do the same thing very lightly. This is a very small brush, as y'all can tell. I'm gonna bring this down and I'm just going over the number 9. Then I'm gonna come over the number 1. I've got a little skip here in the 0, so I'm gonna do this. And then I'm gonna come over very lightly because my 2 is kind of big. Okay, so I've got that part down. Almost done, y'all. And I've got my glitter. I'm gonna put this kind of, hopefully where y'all can see. It's the same glitter that I was just using a little earlier on glitter in the whole piece. I tend to put a lot of glitter on there when I've got this name like this. I'm just kind of sitting here. Now I will tell you, this I'm going to put under a fan for at least a day, maybe 2 days. Now, if I can catch some sun outside, the sunny day would be best. I've got a trash can right here. I don't think y'all can see it because it's on the floor. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of get that excess glitter and tap it like that and put that in the trash can so I don't have to clean up the floor as much. I'll still have to clean up the floor, but not as much. That's all I did. Paint, a little bit of brush, and the glitter. Let me show you what it looks like. I'm going to put this up here close so you can see. Now those letters, 2019. Lord, I've got this backwards so y'all can read it, but man, it's hard for me to look at the camera. You can see how thick they are. They're pretty doggone thick. So they are going to take a long time to dry. And because they're going to take a long time to dry, you're just going to have to give it a long time. Now, I think tomorrow is Sunday. They say we're going to have some sunshine. I'll put this out in the sunshine, but I'll tell you right now, with the lettering this thick, it's going to take at least 2 or 3 days to dry, or a full day out in the sunshine. If you don't have sunshine, give it 2 to 3 days to dry. If you do have sunshine, give it an entire day. And there you go. That's how you put the name on Layla. Layla in 2019. I'm going to back up so y'all can see what this guy looks like now. See, there you go. He's pretty cool, but I wanted y'all to see how I put names on different things for Christmas and how it is going to take a while to dry. Now, what I'll do, since I've already polyed this glitter earlier, I'm going to, in order to seal that, I'll go ahead and put it on here right now for the purposes of the video. Normally, I wouldn't put this on until this is dry. So once this is dry, you're going to spray this on top. It doesn't matter what brand you use. You can use this brand. You can use any brand, but what does matter is that it's a gloss, clear. That's very important. If you get a matte or if you get a semi-gloss, it's going to make that glitter get real dull. So you want a gloss finish, and obviously you want a clear spray. Now, let's pretend for a second that this is dry. You're going to hold this about, what is that, about 10 inches off? And I'll probably put 2 or 3 coats on it. Okay? I would consider that 1 coat. And that way, all of this part is going to be sealed. Again, 2 to 3 days without sunshine for it to cure, or at least 1 full day out in the sun, and that'll be cured. So, there you go. Don't forget, this is what you're going to spray on at the very, very end. Hope you guys have a good day. Looks like it's going to be a good day here weather-wise because it's like not supposed to be higher than 70. Yay! Thank y'all for joining me. We'll see you soon.